Welcome back, you guys. My name is Sarah. I am known as Carnivore Yogi over on Instagram. Back in the yard filming today. It is a gorgeous day. I wanted to make a quick little video for you guys to wish you a happy new year, happy 2021, and give you a 2-year carnivore diet update. I have been on the carnivore diet since January 1st, 2019. So if you're new to the channel, new to the carnivore diet, to give you some hope that it is possible to do this starting on January 1st. It was actually a New Year's resolution that I've been able to keep, which I've never really been good at those resolution things. But this is one that stuck. It was like one of these things that I said, I'm gonna do this for 30 days. I was really at the end of the line with my health. I had already been doing the autoimmune paleo diet, but I found myself doing a lot of binging. I had tried to work with a nutritionist to help me with this binging behavior, and she was having me have like 1 cookie a day as a treat, and that just turned into like 12 cookies a day or 24 cookies a day. It was just a very poor idea. So I was at this point where I said, you know what? I'm gonna try this carnivore diet thing because everything else I'm doing is not working. I had severe IBS, I had eczema, I had joint pain. I had gotten to the point where my body was in so much pain, I could not practice yoga anymore. And I'm a yoga teacher. I've been a yoga teacher for nearly a decade now, actually a little over a decade. And so that's not good when you can no longer practice the craft that you teach because your body's in so much pain. So I said, you know what, let me do this for 30 days. I can do anything for 30 days. And here I am 2 years later. Now, has this been perfect? Hell to the no. Have I learned a lot over the last 2 years? Absolutely. So I'm just gonna give you a little highlight reel, if you want to call it that, for the last 2 years. So again, I started that first 30 days. At the end of that first 30 days, I had lost, it was water weight, but I had had a water weight whoosh, a lot of stubborn weight that I had just been hanging on to, kind of whooshed away. By the end of that 30 days, my joint pain was better. I was already practicing yoga again. My IBS was totally gone. My gut was like so calm and so relaxed. My eczema was gone. I was sleeping better, sleeping deeper, sleeping longer. I felt great. And I didn't do anything fancy in that first 30 days. I really just ate a lot of ground beef. And I have a beginner carnivore diet series coming out on Monday. It's 5 days of the carnivore diet for beginners. If you join my coaching group, you get access to all 5 videos on Sunday. I'm going to be sending out those videos, which if you're watching this after January the 3rd, I'm sorry, but you can already access my 5 carnivore diet beginner videos. But what I said in the first video is like, what do you eat on carnivore diet? That I ate a lot of ground meat, ground beef. I didn't really concentrate on fat protein or any of that stuff, and just eating really a lot of ground beef for 30 days. No fasting, none of that. I had the weight loss, I had the inflammation drop, I had my stomach get better, and I was like, I feel so good. And I feel like a lot of people do this. They're like, I feel so good after 30 days. I want to keep this up. I want to keep this going. So here I am 2 years later. You know, here's the other thing that I think a lot of people, when they tell you their success stories, I started having problems about the 1 year mark, where my blood sugar was not under control. I was waking up a lot at night, and I've talked with a lot of other people in this community as well as consulted with a lot of experts. This can start happening for people, and there's a lot of reasons behind it. You can go back and watch some of my troubleshooting videos, but what I ended up having to do in February of 2020 was to drop my protein down and take my fat way up so that I was doing ketogenic macros with a carnivore diet, because it wasn't initially important to me when I first started carnivore diet, but it became important. This could have been because I was doing a ton of fasting. I did a bunch of 72 hours, a 7-day water fast. And this is not required if you want to do the carnivore diet, but I'm an all or nothing person, if you can't tell by watching a few of my videos or really getting to know me. I'm very all or nothing. I'm very balls to the walls. I'm all, like, that's just me. So I felt like I had to do a lot of fasting and a lot of this stuff. So that could have also been the reason, and I really wasn't minding my electrolytes. I wasn't paying attention to my minerals or any of that stuff in that first year. So that could have been why it became necessary for me to go to keto macros with a carnivore diet. But I digress. That's what I did. That's what I had to do. And a lot of stuff got better. I also had to do a little bit of work with my electrolytes. I will link that video below, my latest electrolyte video below, because I've done a lot of different things over the last couple of years or the last year. But I'm also somebody who had to quit doing all fasting. And hello, year 2 of the carnivore diet is 2020 for me. It was 2020. It was a stressful year for all of us. And as somebody with a history of, yoga teaching and really studying the mind-body connection, and more it's become evident to me that stress and it's really the state of your nervous system is going to influence how your metabolism, how your body operates. If you are stuck in fight flight, which a lot of people are stuck in fight flight, you're in this high cortisol producing state, it's going to be really difficult for your body to let go of weight, to let go of inflammation, not to mention the fact that you're constantly going to be damaging your gut, putting holes in your gut wall with those stress chemicals. So more and more, and that's why I created Zero Carb Zen in 2021, because I want to blend, the carnivore diet and what I've learned over the last 2 years with what I already know and what I've studied over the last 10 years about the body-mind connection and about the nervous system. And I've seen so many people that are doing everything right, and they're still not able to lose the weight. They're still having these chronic gut issues and sleep issues and health issues. And so I more and more that I'm on this journey, this is where I'm at here at the end of year 2, is just really emphasizing and working on regulating the nervous system. And that's more and more where my focus and effort will be. Yes, I'll stay more than likely meat-based, but I'm going to be more and more talking about and more working with regulating the nervous system and helping people with that piece, because people are doing like everything right and they're still having the issues, and that's kind of like where I've gotten to at the end of this. But I digress a little bit, sorry, a little all over the place with this 2-year update. Gut health became very important to me, again, closer to the end of this year. Right around October, I started working with who is my dear friend, Nutrition with Judy. I will link the video that her and I did where we go over my symptom burden assessment, which is just a lot of the symptoms I was having with poor sleep, with my thyroid being downregulated, and just a lot of stuff. And she's been helping me with my gut health, which has been a game changer for me, a huge game changer. And I never thought that gut health was important, because everyone says you can do the carnivore diet and do fasting, both of which I did a ton of in 2019, tons of fasting. And I still had gut issues because when I tried a food reintroduction, I had a lot of skin issues. And when I would do too much dairy, I would get really bad skin issues. I would get eczema on my hands. So 2020 has been the year where I've really started to look at my gut health. I also started working with a company called Thrive, and I sent off a gut health sample to them. And I was expecting to get shining colors like A+ on my gut health test. I'll link them below this video. And essentially they were like, oh yeah, you need some help, you need some gut support. And the fact that I had tried to do a food reintroduction and had a really bad reaction, there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, my microbiome wasn't necessarily adept at a food introduction. When you do food introduction, there's a specific way that you want to do it. But 2, my gut wall wasn't sealed. And so that is what caused my skin to flare up and a really bad reaction. So I have been, and I'm starting to learn more about the gut microbiome and gut health, and that sometimes just doing fasting and carnivore isn't enough to seal that gut wall so that you really do heal your gut. So I'll be talking more about that on my channel as well coming this year in 2021. And I'm also just now really starting to get interested in minerals and mineral deficiencies. I've done a couple of hair mineral tests. I'll be doing more of those. I'll link the one that I use below this, but If you really want to know the status of your minerals, a hair mineral test is going to be a lot more accurate than a blood test, because it's not going to really show you what's going in the cell and not in the cell. The hair is going to really tell you what's been getting in the cell and what hasn't been getting in the cell. So your blood test could be perfectly normal and fine, but you could have a severe magnesium deficiency, or have very low sodium potassium, or be like me and have really high sodium and potassium, which is a sign that the adrenals are working too hard. So, and you know what? I'm talking about all this stuff, and some of you guys may be beginners and like just super overwhelmed. But the one thing I want to reiterate to you guys is that this kind of stuff, mineral deficiencies, gut issues, can really go across any diet. It's not the carnivore diet that causes these things. I think that if you're going to do a carnivore diet, you do need to have an electrolyte routine, and that's going to look different for everybody. I do think that that is important. I'm not a huge believer in taking a bunch of supplements either. So some of these hair mineral tests you do and you're like, oh, you're low on all this stuff, and they'll just ship you a bunch of supplements. I don't think that that is a good solution. That's where I think working with somebody like Nutrition with Judy, because it could be an adrenal issue and you need some support for your adrenals, right? You could just need some stress reduction. You could, want to add more meat broth or sources of calcium like fish bones, like food sources. So to focus on, to concentrate on, rather than just popping supplements and popping pills. And I've changed, that's kind of changed and evolved over this year as to like how I look at things. And I don't think that, talking again about probiotics, I don't think people need to be on probiotics forever. I think it could be something that people do for 6 months or so, get the gut healed, and then make sure with their diet they're not eating things to break down the gut wall, or they're not stressing too much, again, to break down that gut wall. So I know I'm kind of like all over the place. I do want to mention one more thing that I'm curious about doing this year. I haven't fully made the decision to do it or not, but to try some food reintroduction based on my gut health test that I did with Thrive. They actually sent me, when you do your gut health test, they'll send you a list of foods, and you can actually choose ketogenic diet, Atkins diet. You can choose kind of the diet, the framework you want to stay in, and then they'll send you the foods that will fit into that framework that you should either avoid or that you should try. And they will tell you the certain strain of bacteria that your gut either has or does not have, that this food will help or hurt with. So I may try out some food reintroductions this year. It's something I'm kind of curious about, just to see, is my gut healed? Can I handle these things? And like, what is that like after being carnivore for a couple of years? How will my body handle it? And during the gut healing protocol, and what will that look like? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking for 2021, and continuing to document it all with you guys, continuing to interview people and experts, and just taking you along for the ride and being transparent and honest about this stuff, because there's far too many people that just kind of want to get famous. And I don't think that they're telling the truth of what's really going on behind the scenes. If somebody is rainbows and unicorns all the time, it's probably not legit, And I don't tell you guys everything that goes wrong, every little thing, but I share a lot. And if I find it to be really relevant, and if I keep getting people messaging me over and over again about the same problem, I'll look into it deeper. I'll research it deeper. So stay tuned for my 5 video series coming next week on Monday. Join my January group. It's only $36 if you're interested in being in my group coaching event. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Happy New Year. Bye, y'all.